champ, not many people have gone the full 15 rounds with you, but before we close, I'd like to remind you of someone who has. Just as he promised he would one August day in 1970, during your exile from the ring, when he gave you a lift in a car from Philadelphia to New York, and when he pulls up on 42nd Street, a crowd starts to gather.
And I said, hey, man, you better get out of my car.
Not Joe
people
Frasier.
might think you and I are good pals.
No,
You've described him as the fighter you most admire, your old adversary. We've flown him from Philadelphia.
Not Joe Frasier.
Smoking Joe. Joe Frasier.
Joe Frasier.
Joe, how did you come to be giving Muhammad Ali a lift in your car?
Well, number one, I had a chance to move around in Philadelphia, and I went to one of the hotels, and I promised to give him a ride to New York City that day. I got out of the car. Somebody says, "Hey, go, Smoking Joe Frasier." Oh, man, and he went off. Smoking Joe Frasier. Where is he? I want Smoking Joe Frasier. He got my title. So I went over and I shook his hand. He told me, he says, listen, sir, I have a man that's doing a book on me. Would you interview him into New York City? We rode into New York City. This guy would not let me get one word in. All through the whole ride, he started talking about Smoking Joe Frasier. Can you whip me? You think you whip me? So Joe, Smoking Joe Frasier. See, I wrote a poem. He said, Joe come out smoking, I'll be poking, pouring water on that smoking. He said, I might amaze you. I will be tired smoking Joe Frasier. all through the whole time in New York, from Philadelphia to New York City, I had to go through that noise all the way.
What did you do?
So I had a chance to got into New York City, 42nd and...
He slapped me.
42nd and Broadway, and somebody messed around and saw him and myself, and he went off again. Smoking Joe Frasier, ladies and gentlemen, Smoking Joe Frasier, the man who got my title. I won my title. I was in the car.
Oh, Lord.
I said, look, I ought to whoop this sucker right now. So after a while, he got back in the car and kind of cooled down some. I said, hey, man, cool it off, you know what I mean? So he said, a song. He started singing. He started singing.
I can't believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a great guy. I would say we love him. He's a fine champion.
Oh, Lord.
Congratulations.
So crazy. Thank you, Joe.
Joe Frasier. I'll say one thing. I might see how you got the other people. How did you get Joe Frasier here? My man, Joe Frasier.
I want you to listen to this, Muhammad. As a boy, you worship one particular... I am, just about. But I want to remind you of one particular boxing hero who later in life you got to know, and who sadly cannot be here because, as you know, he recently underwent massive heart surgery, which has affected his powers of speech. But such is his high regard for you that here, in his home in Las